Good afternoon and welcome to this session on degree apprenticeships. My name is Alex Barker and I am an apprenticeship business development advisor at Manchester Metropolitan University. I'm joined today by two of our fantastic employers, AJBell, Angela Davis, and Maisie Brunning from McDonald's, and one of our fantastic apprentices from AJBell, Rob Mann. So if we can start today, Angela, if you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about AJBell.
So my name's Angela Davis and I'm the Head of Learning and Development here at AJBell. And my role includes supporting the learning and growth of all our employees and apprentices, and also making sure we recruit the right apprentices into role.
Brilliant. And Maisie, can you...
AJBell? Oh, sorry, carry on.
Maisie, if you can just introduce yourself and then I'll come back to you, Angela, to tell us a bit about AJBell.
Hi everyone, I'm Maisie. I'm an early careers coordinator here at McDonald's. I'm fairly new to the business. I joined in June of last year after finishing my economics degree, and I'm responsible for a number of our early careers opportunities, including our school leaver degree apprenticeship, which I'm going to talk to you about today.
Great. And Rob, if you can introduce yourself.
Yes, hi everyone. So my name's Rob. I'm currently a third year apprentice studying towards a digital and technology solutions degree with AJBell along with MMU as my training provider.
That's brilliant. And back to you, Angela. Do you want to tell us a little bit about AJBell as an organisation?
Yep. A lot of people sometimes think of us as the stadium. We have the Sail Shark Stadium, but that's not who we are. AJBell is actually one of UK's largest and fastest growing investment platforms. What that means is, in short, we help people to invest by making it as easy as possible with technology and products such as ISAs, dealing accounts, SIPs, etc., to help our customers achieve their investment goals. We've been established since 1995 and we're now listed on the London Stock Exchange, having grown to be market-leading providers of investment products, services and information. We have almost 400,000 customers, a number which is rapidly growing, and they trust us with assets over £75.6 billion. In terms of employment, we employ over 900 people. Our head office is based here in Salford Quays, and we also have offices in London and Bristol too. A bit more about the business is we are recipients of many investment awards, and we've also been listed in the top 100 companies to work for 4 years running. And this year we were also awarded Large Apprenticeship Employer of the Year for the Northwest, which we're very proud of. I usually have a trophy here to show you. I didn't bring it in today. We recruit for two different types of apprenticeships. In AJBell, we recruit for investment operations specialists, but also the digital degree apprenticeships, which we partnership with you guys in Manchester Metropolitan University, of which Rob is part.
Brilliant. That's really interesting, Angela. And it is true. Every time I drive to the Trafford Centre, I see your big signs on that stadium. So I know exactly what you mean there. Yeah. Maisie, could you tell us a little bit about McDonald's, similar to what Angela's just told us about AJBell?
No worries. Well, everybody knows McDonald's. We're fairly locally known, with one pretty much around every corner. So I'm sure you've all been in a McDonald's restaurant at some point. We're proud to become one of the world's leading food service brands with more than 36,000 restaurants in over 100 countries. McDonald's UK itself has been around for almost 50 years, having opened our first restaurant in England in 1974. Each year we spend over £40 million on training our employees and providing promotional opportunities. We passionately believe in creating opportunities for everyone. So 90% of our restaurant managers began their careers as crew members in one of our restaurants, and a third of our exec members also began their careers as crew members. We're one of the most recognised brands in the world. At the backbone of that brand is our commitment to a set of core values, which are serve, inclusion, integrity, community and family. And we live by these values every day and are committed to fostering a safe and respectful and inclusive workplace, providing quality jobs and making opportunities open to all.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Thank you both. And I think we probably can all agree with Maisie there that we all know the name McDonald's fairly well as well. So what would be great for our listeners is just to get an idea about your engagement with degree apprenticeship. So when did you start your degree apprenticeship programs, and what kind of roles you recruit into? Just a bit of background with that. So Maisie, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course, no worries. So we have the School Leaver Degree Apprenticeship, which is a 5-year programme. It's been running for 4 years, I believe. So our cohort that started 4 years ago will be graduating this year. So as I said, it's a 5-year programme and it's aimed at students over 18. It combines a restaurant curriculum with academic study, and it's basically great for getting practical experience and working towards an apprenticeship at the same time. So you'll be working towards a level 3 apprenticeship and then a bachelor's degree. In the first year, students will complete their level 3 apprenticeship in hospitality supervision, and that's provided by our partner Lifetime Training. And then during years 2 to 5, students will study for a bachelor's degree in business management, which is provided by MMU. Throughout that 5-year programme, students will continue to work in their restaurant and will be released on block 3 to 4 times a year from their university, to their university for 3 to 4 days at a time. Students will learn business theory, and that's used to complement and enhance their on-the-job training. We're always updating the course content and structure to reflect changing business environment, ensuring that our managers are always ahead of the curve. Whilst you're working in your restaurant, 20% of your working time will be dedicated to studying within your restaurant, and you may also need to study in your personal time, depending, of course, on how organised you are. We aim to place all our employees in a restaurant within 3 to 10 miles from their home, and the programme is open to any location in England. The programme offers successful candidates the chance to earn while they learn, so they'll receive a progressive salary as well as having all education and travel expenses paid by us. We've had already over 50 apprentices on this course, and the feedback is that they really love it. They get the best of both worlds, allowing them to have a university experience as well as gaining fantastic hands-on experience in one of our restaurants. So it's a hands-on restaurant-based role with scope to advance through the positions in our restaurant as you work and study, and you'll work in shifts of 36 to 40 hours per week. In year 1, you'd progress from a crew member to a shift runner, managing teams of up to 60 people, handling everything from customer service, health and safety, HR and sales, all whilst working on the restaurant floor. And you'll learn the basics of working in one of our restaurants, as well as completing a shift leadership programme, which covers all you need to know about developing and leading a team. And then in years 2 to 5, you progress from a shift runner to potentially a business manager, handling profit and loss, budgeting, rotas and waste management, all while being a leader to your employees.
Brilliant. And I know what question is definitely going to come up. What discounts do they get when they join you as an apprentice?
Oh, I tell you what, you get a lot of discounts. I've got a whole slideshow on that.
I'm sure that question will definitely be asked. Angela, for yourself, can you tell us a bit about AJBell's degree apprenticeship programmes?
What we don't do is offer any discount on any burgers anywhere at all. So, I can't match you there, Maisie, at all. So this is this will be our 4th cohort that we're recruiting for in September. Rob was from our very first cohort of apprentices on the digital degree apprenticeship programme back in 2019 indeed. And so, as Rob said, he's in the 3rd year now. I suppose it's a little more straightforward at AJBell. We have a huge technology services department that support what we do because we're a investment platform business. So there's lots of things we need to do in terms of making sure our platform works for our customers, but also because we're financial services, in keeping ourselves safe, keeping our customers safe and our business safe for cyber attacks and those sorts of things. So we have the degree apprenticeship. Our apprentices at Manchester Met go on day release 1 day a week, and that's, I suppose, in the most part covers the 20% learning, although they are learning on and off the job all the time, which Rob will vouch for. What we've done previously is have rotations. So because we recruit for people who may not have had any experience in technology, we're not looking necessarily for anyone that has studied A-levels or GCSEs around technology or maths or anything like that. So we have previously done rotations around our technology services department to give people some exposure and understanding of everything that we do, so that at the end of the degree you will know what your specialism is, you'll know what you're good at, you'll have learned lots and be able to add value in any different different parts of the of technology services. What we do know is that we put our apprentices to work almost straight away, and they add value to our business straight away, working on really big and important projects, which I'm sure Rob can probably expand on in a little while. But yeah, so very hands-on, but working hand in hand with Manchester Met to make sure you have the best experience all round.
Yeah, and they both sound like fantastic companies to work for and come and join as a degree apprentice. Rob, can you tell us a little bit about your role? So maybe, I know you've been on the programme now for 3 years, so if you could just talk us about where you started and what you're doing now, just to give everyone a bit of an overview on that.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, as Ange said, sort of your first 1.5 to 2 years is spent rotating around various teams in the technology services department that I work in. So that can be from, data to development to automation to IT security, which is where I've ended up. You're basically paired with, a member of each team that you end up going into, and sort of getting hands-on experience and learning from those people that you paired up with. Towards the end of your rotations, you're asked to basically choose which department you want to sort of settle down in, and that's normally like an informal chat between yourself and your managers, and then obviously you start specialising in whatever your chosen pathway is, both at AJBell and at MMU as well. So in terms of my particular role, as I said, I've started to specialise in IT risk and security, and that's currently the department that I work in at AJBell. Currently working from home, as you can tell. And in terms of the actual role itself, I'd probably say sometimes I genuinely don't know what I'm walking into. Like the world that I work in is sort of controlled with what happens in the external world. So whether that be, like a breach somewhere that's discovered by, a penetration tester or like a hacker or something like that, that will obviously make my team down tools and start focusing elsewhere, for example. In terms of, specific things that I've got involved with whilst, being with the team, I control security groups within Active Directory. I do daily checks on our email gateway to control what emails are coming in and going out to prevent phishing attacks. I answer second line user queries from our business users. I'm part of a remediation team which checks our vulnerabilities across our networks and computers to obviously mitigate risk as much as possible. I've assisted with the rollout of new security tooling in the past. I've been patching and updating machines across the business as well. So there's absolutely tons of stuff that you end up getting involved in. As Angela said, like it's very hands-on.
Yeah.
And then in terms of on a more personnel side, more recently I've been turned into a mentor. So I've now got my own little mentee within the business who is a newer intake within AJBell, who is choosing the cyber pathway as well. So it's really good to sort of share my experience with him. He's sort of like living the life that I lived last year. So it's really nice to be able to be that barrier for him to lean on whenever he needs it. So it's quite a full-on apprenticeship. It's quite a decent experience, quite hands-on, as Ange said. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's really
brilliant.
fun.
I mean, it definitely sounds like you've got a very important job there with what you're doing, and it's brilliant as well to hear that you are mentoring somebody now. That's what apprenticeships are about. People coming through the business and then passing their good practice on and being that support for people who are joining to do apprenticeships. Rob, just to add to that, what would you say is the best thing about doing a degree apprenticeship? Big question, but what one thing is the best thing about doing a degree apprenticeship?
I suppose the whole not doing the traditional route of education and getting yourself into loads of debt is a massive plus. you're getting paid to, the classic earn while you learn statement, like you're literally working day in, day out to develop yourself as an individual, as a professional, whilst also gaining your qualification at the same time. So you're building up on both sides, basically, rather than, just on the traditional education side. So that's the main benefit, I would say, you would have with a degree apprenticeship.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Rob. So it'd be good for our listeners to have an idea about the positions that you might be recruiting into this year and what your application process looks like. So Maisie, if you could talk us through that for McDonald's.
Yeah, no problem. So it's just our school leaver program that I've been speaking about today that we are recruiting for at the moment. So to apply, applicants just need to visit our career website, which is people.mcdonalds.co.uk. The selection process follows 6 steps, so it is quite rigorous. So it starts with an online application via our career website. Then if you pass that, you go on to do 2 online tests, which are based on strengths and numerical reasoning. Following that, you would have a 30-minute telephone interview. Following that, we'd have an assessment day. Usually these are held in person at our head office in East Finchley, but at the moment, for obvious reasons, they are being done online. And then if you go through that, you go to an on-the-job evaluation in one of our restaurants, and then finally an interview with a manager. So for this year, the applications close on the 28th of February, so quite soon, and then the apprenticeship would begin on the 1st of September. And in order to qualify, applicants for Manchester Met would need 104 predicted UCAS points and a C or 4 in GCSE English and Maths, or level 2 functional skills in English and Maths, and have been a resident of the UK for 3 or more years. Other than that, there's no requirement.
That's great. And we can obviously share that as well in the chat if people do want to apply. Angela, could you talk us a bit about AJBell's application process and what you might be recruiting into this year?
Yep. So like Maisie, our applications open this week. It's very cyclical. It feels like we've only just taken a cohort through and put them onto their teams, and we're starting all over again. So our applications are open now, ready for September, much like Maisie in McDonald's. You can apply either via our website, or we've got quite a lot of social media posts out this week, little videos that tell you a little bit of an insight into life at AJBell. And if you find any of those on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, the links are on there. So just click on that, it'll take you straight through to the applications. Again, we don't ask for any experience in technology. You don't have to have wanted to go down this path for all of your life. Certainly, and I think Rob was a career switcher actually, but we have some apprentices that are doing brilliantly that focused on sports, for example, at college before they joined us. And that's one of the great things, I guess, about Manchester Met, because you are able to support any level of applicant on the programme. And it also means we can be more diverse in our recruitment and encourage anyone to apply.
Yeah.
All that we ask is the 5 GCSEs with a 4 and above or C and above in math. One of them, 2 maths and English need to be in there as well. And for the degree apprenticeship, 112 UCAS points or predicted UCAS points, because obviously we're recruiting for September. You may not have your results yet. But what we're most interested in, really, and you'll have heard from Rob and you'll have seen from Rob, is enthusiasm to learn, passion for the business, and how well we feel you'll fit into our culture and the guiding principles of our business, and align with our values. So the starting point is absolutely an application, a well-written CV. Check it again for spelling mistakes and grammar. And then if you're successful through that stage, we go to a telephone interview, and then hopefully if you're successful again onto assessment centres. We run small assessment centres. It's not a brutal process. For the last 2 years, we've done them virtually online, and they've been just as successful as the ones face to face. We're hoping this year, they tend to start in sort of June and July time. We're hoping to be able to do them face to face, but we've got a backup plan just in case.
Brilliant, thank you both. So that actually leads us nicely onto the next bit of the webinar. I think we're nearing the end. We probably could all sit here and talk about our passion for apprenticeships and the degree apprenticeships for a long time. But I think it'd be quite nice to end on a bit of a top tip for our listeners. So if each of you could just give a top tip, Rob, maybe for yourself, like something around a top tip for a degree apprentice applicant, so you know how can they find a degree apprenticeship, what would you want top tip be? And Maisie and Angela, for yourself, like something there, a top tip that would maybe make somebody stand out, so an applicant stand out to you. So Angela, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, so I would say do your research on the company. Don't tell us why you want to do a digital degree, tell us why you want to do a digital degree apprenticeship in AJBell. So tell us a little bit about, let us know that you're interested in us, and give us, tell us what it is about the company that inspires you. So do your research.
Brilliant, good tip. And Maisie?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to copy what Angela said a little bit. I think enthusiasm for the company and enthusiasm for the apprenticeship at McDonald's is so important. We've got very little requirements in our application process in terms of education and things like that, but actually people that really stand out for us are people that are really enthusiastic about the role, the company. I think with McDonald's, you need to be really resilient in the face of change, because innovation is huge in our restaurants at the moment. Things are constantly changing. So I think that's a big thing. And I will think on a slightly more practical level, a lot of our applicants stumble at our telephone interview because you really need to demonstrate your skills by giving examples rather than just speaking generally in your interview. And we do tell people that in the interview, but sometimes people still fail to do it. So that would be a massive one that I would say, if you get through to the telephone stage, make sure that you are giving evidence of how you can do those skills.
Brilliant, thank you. And finally, Rob, what would your top tip be?
I think, more tailored towards AJBell. If you were to get through to our assessment centre, they're sort of there and they're designed for you to, portray yourself in the best way. So they're there for you to show off your best skills. So you need to use that time as wisely as possible. And on top of that as well, just making sure that, if you're just searching for a general degree apprenticeship, make sure you signed up to all the websites, Indeed, Reed, LinkedIn, get in contact with people, start networking properly. And the more you do that, the more opportunities are going to come your way and the more opportunities you're going to get. So I'll probably say that more than anything.
Yeah, that's really useful advice. Well, comes to the end of our session. I just want to say a big thank you to the three of you for joining us today. I think the information that you've passed on will be invaluable for the listeners. So thank you for joining us, and we will hopefully see you for one of these panels again soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.